Are you a new player returning to League of Legends and you're simply overwhelmed by Season 13? In the next 15 minutes, I'm going to be breaking down a player's profile who was Plat 3 in Season 5. They've taken like an 8-year break and they're back in Season 13 and they're struggling to climb. Currently a Bronze 4 with a 27% win rate. In the next 15 minutes, I'm going to break down everything a player who is returning to League after a hiatus of at least 1 to 2 years, what they need to do to focus on to get back to that goal rank or at least to climb higher than where they are before. Now guys, before we get into the profile review today, if you want your own profile reviewed for free, please check out the link in the YouTube description below. As well, if you're interested in the paid coaching solution I talk about, where it's basically like a personal trainer for the gym, except it's for League of Legends, breaking down your biggest problems, holding you back to climbing to your goal rank, please also check out the link where you can book a free call with me. Let's get into the profile review. So in the next 10 minutes, this profile review, I'm going to break down basically the 5 things you need to do to get your mojo back as a returning player to League of Legends. So the first one is figuring out your champion pool. The second one is volume of games. Playing, grinding is going to be your best friend. Third one is the 2 account strategy, which is a strategy I implore all League of Legends players, no matter how good they are, to use in order to climb, learn, and have fun in League of Legends. Fourth one is reducing your death count, which is a key priority. And the fifth one is improving your laning phase, because without getting your laning phase set up correctly first, Charles, everything else is going to fall apart. So we need to make sure we've got that fundamental foundation correct for every game you play. And then we can go about building yourself into that goal rank of where you want to get to silver. And I think eventually you can get back to gold, maybe even platinum. If you stay at it, stick to a strategy, and work hard. Cool. So the first one, champion pool. Now, when you're a new player or a returning player, it can be super overwhelming playing the game and knowing, well, what champion do I play? Do I play the meta? Do I play what I used to play? Do I play what I have fun? Do I do a combination of all of them? And to be honest, it doesn't really matter what champion you play, as long as it satisfies 2 categories. And these are the 2 categories that I recommend to all players. It's the reason how I've coached so many players out of bronze, silver, iron, platinum, diamond to gold ranks, is you need to have fun on the champion and you need to be good on them, or in your case, you need to have the potential to be good on them. Now, I'm not going to be focusing too hard on being good at them or the potential to be good at them, because honestly, I think the fundamentals is what you need to learn right now, and that doesn't really matter what champion you learn it on. As long as the champion is consistent, you just need to pick one and stick with it and go about mastering it in the smallest amount of games possible. So what we need to be focusing on for you right now, Charles, is just finding, I would say, the 1 or 2 supports that you enjoy playing the most. Don't worry about what your current win rate is on them. Don't worry about, if your mates say you can't play Nami, you can't climb with Nami, don't play her. Don't worry about the people who flame you in ranked solo queue because you fed or you had a bad game. Don't worry about that. Just go back to the age-old question, what champions are you having the most fun playing on at the moment? And that's where we'll start. So I can't answer that question on this profile review, but I'm sure in your head when you're watching this, you can go, this champion and this champion. Maybe it's your Janna and your Soraka. So let's just say it's Janna and Soraka, and again, you can interchange these champions. It doesn't matter what role, what champions, as long as we've just got 2 for examples to use. Cool. So once we've got our champion pool, again, focusing on having fun for that champion pool, the second thing we need to figure out is volume of games. So right now you've played about 15 ranked games, which is pretty decent after your placement. So you've played in total about 25 games already in this season, and there's about 179 days left. So we need to be playing, I would say, you want to be aiming for around like at least 2 to 3 ranked games a day if possible. If that isn't possible, I would say at least 1 to 2, ideally getting in at least 1 game a day so that you can get like refreshed, you can get back into the game and you're consistently coming back and just getting your hands on the game and understanding how to play again and getting basically your mojo back. Now, that's all about volume. So the biggest friend you're going to have is once you've got that champion pool is you just need to put games in. And so it can be on ranked, it can be in normals, or my third point is the 2 account strategy. So looking at your main account right now, I would be suggesting we take a step back from ranked on it if our goal is to get to silver or beyond this season. Because right now, you need to get your champions in your champion pool that you've already got in your head, and I hope you write it down. We need to get those champions to a 55% win rate in a ranked environment. So how do we do that without having our main account? This is what we call the 2 ranked account strategy. It's not a new concept. I didn't make it up, but it's been used by hundreds, probably thousands, of tens of thousands, maybe even, players to climb higher than they've ever climbed before. And the idea is you have one account for climbing and you have one account for learning, having fun, and trying new things. That's, in principle, that's the simplest way to explain it. So we have your main account, which I love the name, by the way, Tim the Eccentric Enchanter. Perfect. Awesome. This is our main account, and now we need a second account. Now you can hand level the account to 30. You can, if you already have a second account, great. I don't promote the buying of accounts, but you can do that if you want. Just make sure you do your research and you find a good site that has lifetime warranties and unverified emails. So you need to be able to put your own email address to the account or it's a scam. And then what you need to do now is give this account a break. It's not going anywhere. Rank's not going anywhere. You've got 179 days to climb to silver or gold. We've got plenty of time. What you need to do is get on that second account and just get comfortable playing ranked with those 1 to 2 champions. Ideally, if you can one trick that champion, so if it's Soraka, and again, it doesn't matter if it's Soraka, if it's Janna, if you want to learn a new champion, if you want to play Zyra, I can't see any Zyra in your match history, for example. If you want to play it, that's great. But what we need to do is focus on that champion and be playing it for the next 3 to 6 months. Ideally, at least 1 to 3 ranked games a day on it, because right now, your biggest problem is just coming back and being overwhelmed by the game. I have to improve this, I have to improve that, I don't know how to ward, oh my god, I'm dying too much, I don't know how to support my AD carry, oh, they're rage pinging me, I don't know what to do after laning phase. All these questions are coming at you. And right now, the best way to answer all of these questions is to just get in the game and play out the scenarios. Play out when you don't know what to do in laning phase. Try new things. Do you group mid? Do you stick with your AD carry? Just keep testing, getting back into the groove of things, and because you hit platinum in season 5, it's eventually going to come back and you're eventually going to be able to adapt to the meta and what's currently happening and kind of what the macro gameplay movements are in bronze, and you're going to get more and more comfortable in ranked. And eventually, that 1 to 2 champions that you've been focusing on, you're going to be able to get to a 55% win rate in them, either in your overall games on them, or if you go to rank solo queue on your op.gg and you type Janna, you check it there, and you can see at least in your last 20 games on Janna, you have at least a 55% win rate. Perfect. Janna now fits the criteria to go to your A team or to your main account. So basically, the 2 ranked account strategy is about having an A team and a B team. And if you don't have your A team yet, you need to build up your B team on your second account until you can transfer them over to your A team account and you start playing them and you start climbing to that gold rank. Now, in terms of in-game improvement areas, so right now, all I've talked about is strategy. And literally, strategy is about 70% of the work when climbing. The majority of players who never climb out of gold, silver, and platinum is because they don't have a ranked climbing strategy. Remember that. So as long as you've got a strategy, you're doing better than the majority of players who play League of Legends. Now, the 2 big in-game things you need to focus on, because I know right now in your head, you're very overwhelmed. You're like, I'm coming back to the game, I'm losing a lot, like I'm doing this wrong, I'm doing that wrong. I don't even know if this is wrong or if this is right. Like, what do I do in this situation? Right now, there's so many questions. There's so many problems that you need to improve. Right now, you just need clarity and you need to minimize the noise and figure out what is the 2 most important things you need to fix right now. And I'm going to tell them to you. So I've done all the hard work for you, and never doubt that these are the 2 things you need to fix until you reach the goals that I'm about to tell you. So the first one is your deaths. Now, to be honest, in your last... let's refresh this and see what your last 20 games in ranked. In your last 20 games in ranked, 6.5 deaths isn't too bad, to be honest. So I'm pretty okay with that. However, you should be trying to average around 5.5 to 6, but that's not your biggest problem. The two other problems that I see with you right now is your kill participation is 46%. Generally, supports need to have about a 50 to 60% kill participation. So if you're below 50%, it suggests to me that you don't know what to do after laning phase. And really, there's two things a support needs to do, or three things a support needs to do after laning phase. One, you either group with your AD carry if they're fed or if they have the potential to carry. If your AD carry doesn't have the potential to carry and it's in the mid game, so like after turrets are down in the bot lane or it's after 15 minutes and everyone's roaming around, follow basically the carry in your team. So whether it's your jungler, whether it's your mid laner, whether it's your top laner, follow them around and try and support them as much as possible, whether through your skills, whether through warding, or whether through hovering and just protecting them. And then the third one is vision. Like, vision is one of the most important concepts as a sport. Just make sure you're placing enough wards at this time. I don't really care about where you're placing them right now because that's too much of a complex problem. Just make sure you're focusing on volume and placing them in areas where fights typically break out, like Dragon Pit, Baron Pit, Rift Herald, mid lane, jungle. You know all the places. You just need to be getting in the rhythm of placing as many wards as you can. Now, the final thing that you need to fix, and this is the biggest issue in-game that's holding you back right now, is your laning phase. And this is a combination of things: champion matchups, positioning, recall timers, understanding your strengths versus weaknesses on an individual champion, simply not knowing your champion, so not having mastery. There's a lot of things you need to focus on. But right now, the biggest indicator that you need to work on is goal difference at 15. So when I see a support with, or any champion or player with a goal difference of negative 1300 in the first 15 minutes, they've got one big problem. They're dying too much in laning phase. Now, I don't care if you literally have to sit under the turret or sit so far back that you're never going to die. What you need to do right now is focus on reducing this goal deficit. So even if you can just die one less death a game in the first 15 minutes, you're going to be reducing this goal difference deficit by about 300 gold, which is really important. Because you need to be getting this down, otherwise you never have a real chance of being able to influence the game, carry the game, or have impact as a sport. And in solo queue, as an individual who's wanting to climb, we always need to be maximizing our own potential to be able to carry the game or support another player to carry the game. So you need to be breaking down your laning phase and figuring out why you're dying so much. Now, how do you do that? Well, it's quite complex and overwhelming for a new player. You can watch YouTube videos on how to do it. You can watch your own replays and try and deduce yourself how you you watch your laning phase and you just watch every time you die. Watch the 30 seconds before you die and see if you can actually figure out, I died because I didn't ward and the jungler ganked me. Or I died here because I got hooked by Pike because I was standing too close to him. I wasn't standing behind my minions. And you can make general assumptions like that about why you're dying. So if you think you're advanced enough to do that on your own, do that. If you've got a friend who's good at League of Legends or he is a higher rank than you, try and go through a game review of yours with them. Say, hey, I'll buy you dinner, or I'll buy the next drink when we go out, or whatever. If you can help me figure out why I'm dying so much in my laning phase, and take 30 minutes of his time, 60 minutes of their time, and try and just go through as many games as you can before they tell you to fuck off, and just get them to tell you, you died here because of this, you died here because of that, you died here because of that, and keep asking why until you understand exactly why you died in that situation. And then the final one is paid coaching. So you've indicated paid coaching, and I like to leave this to the end because there aren't always free avenues to get better at League of Legends, and I like to offer paid coaching to players who are serious about climbing. So for someone like you, what I would recommend, including everything I've just talked about over the last 10 minutes, is a monthly ranked climbing plan. And basically what this is it's like a personal trainer for the gym. It's me taking you through your entire league journey from bronze 4 to silver 3, which is your initial goal rank, to gold, and I honestly want to get you back to platinum, because I think if you got there once, you can get there again. We just need to be strategic, we need to make sure we're enjoying the game, and we need to be playing good League of Legends, and we can do all those three things. So It's like a PT for the gym, except it's for League of Legends. We break down all the biggest hurdles that are facing your account right now, or that's holding you back. Your laning phase, for example, I would probably focus 1 to 3 months just on fixing your laning phase through game reviews. So reviewing the first 15 minutes of your game and figuring out why you're dying. Are you recalling at the right time? When are you warding? Do you have map awareness of the enemy jungler? Do you know when the enemy support roams and kills your mid laner? Do you know what items to buy? All these kind of basics we go through and we break them down from your biggest problems to your littlest problems, month by month, until we build you into not a bronze player, but a silver player. Not a silver player, but a gold player. Not a gold player, but a plat player. And really, the only limitations are how dedicated you are to climbing and how serious you are about it. So, Charles, I hope you've enjoyed this profile view. You have the potential to get back to platinum again. It's really just about how serious you are about climbing and how badly you want it, as well as sticking to that strategy that I've outlined for you. If you're interested in the climbing plan that I just talked about, please, once you've watched this, reach out to me on Discord. We can talk about booking a free call where I'll run you through the exact plan, and if you're happy with it, we can go from there. No obligations, no strings attached, just pure value. So cheers, mate. Good luck in the Rift, and I hope to talk to you once you've watched this.